everyone. Excited to be back for another podcast interview at our 80th AGM Conference. I am so excited to be joined by Aly Brooks, who is a second-year forest tech at NAIT. Aly, how are you doing?
I am doing great.
That's awesome. We are so excited. This is the first conference that we've actually been able to have students at. We had our board members sponsor a couple students from NAIT and from U of A to be able to join us. How are you finding the conference so far?
It has been awesome. It's been really great being able to meet all these new people and just enjoy the time here.
And getting some job offers, I think I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun. What have you enjoyed most so far?
Definitely just being able to mingle with people from the industry. I mean, I never thought I'd be able to meet so many important people here, but, it's been great.
Yeah, I know it's been fun. A few of our staff have been really excited to make some strategic introductions, get you to kind of meet some of the cool folks that are around here. So that's been lots of fun. So you were in your second year at NAIT for the Forest Technician program. How is that going? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
That's going great. Yeah, it's been really great. We just got back from doing field camp up in Hinton. We were doing some layout work, some silviculture, just learning lots, getting some hands-on field experience.
That's awesome. And what do you love most about that?
Oh, definitely just being outside. That's always been my passion. That's been what I've wanted to do since I was little.
Did you grow up doing lots of outdoor stuff?
Yeah, definitely grew up in an outdoorsy family. So hiking, camping, fishing, all that fun stuff.
And what part of the province are you from?
I'm from just outside of Edmonton in Leduc County.
Yeah, right on. And so doing all that kind of outdoorsy stuff, is that what inspired you to get into forestry? Yeah,
definitely. That was kind of one of the big things that I just wanted to do when I was looking at what I wanted to do for a career.
Mm-hmm. Why not? If you can be outside every single day as part of your job, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Aly, when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that back when you were in school, I guess you're in a different school, maybe elementary it was, you actually saw one of our Work Wild educators joined you in school and gave you a presentation. And that was maybe one of the things that motivated you to get into forestry?
Yeah, that's right. That was in junior high. I had a presenter from Work Wild come to my class and kind of give a presentation about all these different career opportunities that I never even knew existed. So that was a huge part in sparking my passion for actually having a career in forestry.
Yeah, that is so cool. So lots of kind of career stuff. Was there other stuff that was talked about in the presentation that you found really interesting?
Definitely lots of like environmental stuff and going into the sciences. They recommended some great university programs, which is how I ended up at NAIT.
Awesome.
And I ended up doing JFR right after, which was suggested by them.
Cool.
So definitely lots of great opportunities talked about in that.
And how was the JFR program? I've heard lots about it. And honestly, I have to admit, I learned about the JFRs after I was already, too old to get into that program. So I'm a little bit envious of the people that have got to try that out. What was that like for you?
It was such a great summer. I got into it. I was one of the youngest members of my crew, but really being able to develop those like friendship and leadership skills, some teamwork, and also be learning about the forest industry and all these different career paths that I could take was such a cool experience.
Absolutely. Was there a favorite activity that you did as part of the JFR program, like a certain, focus of forestry that you loved?
Yeah, I mean, going into the JFR program, all of the stuff that we did related to wildfire was like so fun. We got to hang out with some helitack crews and go on helicopter and put out some fires. It was great.
I love talking to people that are excited about wildfire because normally when we hear about wildfire, people are like, ooh, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of scary. But talking to you and some of the other classmates, it's been like, oh, wildfire is so fun. I want to get in there.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where you see your career going, or is there another avenue of forestry you want to get into?
I'd really like to get into the harvesting and operation side of forestry. Yeah. Wildfire was kind of my first love, but I've moved past that now, and I really like the industry side of the forest industry, I guess.
Yeah. I love that you called wildfire your first love. That's amazing.
It definitely was.
So now you've fallen in love with more of kind of the forest planning side of things?
Yeah, definitely just being out and like seeing the whole process from being out in the bush before we cut a block and then get to go see the cut and then you get to replant that block and see it grow up. Like that that just to me is so cool.
Have you seen a lot of kind of regenerating stands? My goodness, if I can speak English. Have you seen lots of kind of cool growing forests?
Yeah, with NAIT, we get to go out to a bunch of old cut blocks in the Hinton area and just kind of see how everything's growing, see how different silviculture prescriptions are working, and that's super cool.
Yeah, so silviculture is something you're really interested in then?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the aspects of forestry that I really like to learn about.
Yeah, so you love kind of the idea of growing, new forests, or like what do you love?
The whole process, really. The process from start to end is so cool to me, from the planning to the harvesting to the silviculture operations afterwards. It's all just so cool.
Yeah. Has there been anything that you've learned in your journey with NAIT that was really surprising to you that you didn't know before?
Definitely how complex it was. Like, before going into NAIT, I really thought it was just cut tree, plant tree. And there's so much more that goes into it, and so many people behind the scenes and that are working and that are out there and that are in the office that just you don't know about until you actually get into it. Yeah,
that's so cool. And that's something that we actually talk about all the time, and that we hear all the time, is a lot of people don't really understand, what are all the different things that go into forestry. Can you kind of go into some of the stuff that you've learned about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just ended a project where you kind of go from the planning phase all the way through. So we just started doing like planning a block and doing all the GIS and the online and the digitizing for that. And then we got to go out and lay out that block and do the field recce and get to see kind of what's in that block. And then now we're going to go back and we're going to harvest a block, and we get to go out there and do the silviculture prescriptions and make sure it gets planted. And that's kind of that's a super cool process to go through to see just how complicated it actually is.
You mentioned GIS technology, which I think is it's incredible. And there's so much more high-tech elements to forestry than one might think. Have you been surprised by that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely didn't think going into this program that I would be so involved in technology and these new programming things. And that's definitely a huge part of the industry. And it's super cool to learn and be able to play around with that stuff.
If there was one thing that you wish, other people your age that aren't part of forestry could know about the sector, what would that be?
Definitely just how many different opportunities there is. It's not all just out in the bush, and it's not all just in an office. There's people who are in the office, there's people out in the bush, there's people that are doing behind the scenes, there's communications, there's all these different aspects to the industry.
Oh my gosh. Aly, if you hadn't already been given 100 job opportunities yesterday, I would scoop you up for Work Wild, because that is our key message right there, is that there's so much more than just, the typical job you think of lumberjack kind of marching into the bush with an axe, really.
Yeah, definitely.
You've hit the nail on the head right there for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there anything that you're looking forward to in the conference this week?
Definitely. I'm super excited for supper tonight. Get to meet some more new people. That's been really cool. And then tomorrow's supposed to be super nice. So just being able to explore the facility a little bit more.
So Aly, we've been so excited to welcome you to this event. Has there been anything really surprising for you here?
Definitely just how well organized the event is. I was so glad walking in. Like, we've just been so well taken care of, and everybody from the company has just been so good at making sure that we meet the right people and that we're going where we need to be. It's been great.
Awesome. That is so great to hear. And I will just take that as a moment to give a huge shout out to our Senior Financial Officer, Leslie Loudon, Cheryl Hill, our Executive Assistant, and the team at JPL for helping us, make this event run smoothly. It's our 80th AGM Conference. And I think it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So, Aly, I've mentioned that we've been excited to have you here, and we've talked about some of the different experiences that you've been so excited to kind of check out, as part of being at the AGM. What has it been like for you? Have other people been, talking to you lots, or what have you kind of noticed?
Yeah, definitely. I've been approached by a lot of people, just kind of recruiting, looking for students. It's been really nice to see the enthusiasm as a new worker coming into the industry, that there are definitely people out there looking for young workers like me to get right into it.
And, one of the things that you'll notice about the sector, if you haven't already, which I'm sure you have, is we really are a small and a tight-knit community. And, next time, if you're at an event like this or you're out somewhere else and you're running into, some of our many friends across the province, like they will remember you and they'll say, hey, Aly, like, how have you been doing? It was so great to see you at AGM. And it'll be, it's a great community.
Yeah, it's a super cool part of the forest industry is just how many people, like how small the community is and how everybody knows everybody.
Aly, one of the things that we hear about all the time is that, our foresters, the people that are so passionate about being out in the bush, is that, that's where they want to be. They don't want to be out, mingling with other people. So, if you had to choose, would you rather be right here doing this podcast or out in the bush?
100% out in the bush. That is my home.
I'll take that hit. I'm glad that you are so passionate about it. And I am so excited to see where your career goes, Aly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.